the strategies you use to try and amplify your executive presence? I mean, you mentioned personal branding before, and I always think, yes, developing a brand is really important. How do you position yourself and put yourself out there? Did you have a vision in mind as to what the Jacqueline Berry brand was to look like?
It was no vision per se, but what it actually was speaking with my family, and they said, Jack, you're a little bit unique. People don't see you as somebody who'd be out there in a construction site, and they don't see you as somebody who'd be in transport. They don't see you as someone as engineering. So people never ever really, some people didn't actually take me seriously because they were like, you know, she's looking a bit glamorous for somebody who's going to be in transport or construction. But because I had all that experience, as soon as I started talking, it was a bit of incongruence. Like, hang on, she knows what she's talking about. So I'm talking about big contracts, I'm, you know, negotiating deals. And I really love that. Like, I get really excited by that. So my passion and energy will really come through because I actually love what I do. So I think my personal brand came as, you know, always dressing really well, always looking professional, always being professional, but also having a bit of a sense of humor and being able to have a joke with everybody. And then cutting to the chase, you know, not holding back and then being in a business deal. You're in a deal, you're in there for a reason. So you'd go and do that and be direct. You know, a lot of women aren't direct, so I would be direct, but I'm not in the first instance. So the brand for me was really about working hard, being determined, and also being very resilient. So, you know, working through issues, I wasn't going to back down if people were, you know, going to come up against me and have conflict. I wasn't going to back down in those situations. And I just kept going and finding out different avenues or different detours and working that way. So, yeah, my brand's really been about just being myself. I know that sounds really, everyone always says just be yourself, and that can be really frustrating because people go, I don't know who I am, or you've got to go through the processes. But I think when you throw yourself into jobs, throw yourself into different roles, I didn't know where my career was going at many different points. I thought, oh, I'm going to give up here, or I'm going to do this. But when I got into government, someone said to me, also, it's about voice. So I do singing training and voice training. And so I learned that you need to, you know, slow down when you're speaking. I put myself up. I don't like public speaking, but I would always put myself up for roles which were public speaking, or I do the MC role. And as soon as I did that, people would always connect with me. And so, you know, you got to feel the fear and do it anyway and push yourself out there, out of your comfort zone. So, yeah, some of my keys have been voice training. Definitely the singing's helped. The brand is not shying away from who you are and always trying to amplify that. And even if it is male-dominated industry, which I work in, it's about just males are the same as females. You just connect with them like humans. You know, there's no difference. It's just that they look a little bit different to us. That's how I've always seen it. And they might know something interesting, and I might know something interesting. If we connect, that's great. And then, you know, using those relationships to your best ability, that's really what I've been doing. And sometimes when you walk into a room, you've got to have that confidence, and the room's got to stop. And sometimes you can do that. And if you can switch that on, that's your presence. And people know that you've walked into a room. And sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes I can't do it because I'm not in the mood for it that day. But sometimes when you're feeling really good and you've got that really good pair of heels on, I know that sounds hysterical, but if you're feeling really good when you walk in a room, people will sense it straight away. And that confidence, you don't even have to say a word, but the confidence will come through and people will actually listen.
Yeah. So let me just go back a little bit when you were talking about, you know, the need to dress well and how you've, you know, it's all about having that confidence when you walk in the room. So what sort of things did you employ, having come from a fashion background, in terms of presenting yourself visually to be able to go into those scenarios and feel really confident and be able, you know, having done the voice training and everything else, to be able to own the room, so to speak?
I had a vision of what I wanted to look like. I always loved, you know, sort of a pencil skirt. This is going to sound very funny, but my mum and I used to have conversations about, you know, suits, how they always had in the show suits, and Meghan Markle always had those beautiful long skirts, and then she'd have the little belt and she'd have a nice top. It was simple, elegant, but it also felt really good around your body. So you actually felt taller and stronger when you're wearing it. I know that sounds silly as well. And those classic, and I've always loved a classic look. So whether it's navy, black, white, with a really nice high heel, I think I don't do anything fluffy, anything frou-frou. You won't see me any, you know, sort of like puffy sleeved or anything like that. You won't see me. I'll see me in a dress, but it'll probably be quite tight and structured. Or if it's flowy, it's only in one section. So I tend to stick to more that sort of pencil skirt top, you know, feeling really good. And if I want to be casual, I remember, I think her name was Bronwyn. She was the board director for Cochlear Ears, ear devices. And I picked her up from the airport once because someone said, can you go and pick her up and, you know, talk to her and take her to the event? And she said to me, Jackie, and the best piece of advice she gave me was, never, if they even say it's a casual day, never go casual. Always go that one step up. Always be just a little bit more dressed up than you think you should be, because it does tend to stick you out just a little bit, but also you feel more confident in that room. So, and yeah, I think that's really what's been my driving force, is that nice pencil skirt, structured, but also, you know, looking after yourself, your health and well-being. So doing Pilates, going for runs, you know, eating well, getting sleep. I just came back from Gwingana and they taught us all about stress and relaxation and, you know, feeling your best. When you're feeling like that, you can give it to other people as well.
Absolutely. Well, that's all really good advice. And no, it's not silly saying that, you know, you feel really comfortable in that. I mean, how you dress is a reflection of you and your values and what you feel really comfortable in. And if what you feel comfortable in is something that's very classic and tailored, and you've got the body shape to wear it well and wear it well, and good on you for doing that in such a male-dominated environment, because I know a lot of women would really struggle with that, and they would feel that they would have to dress like the men to be accepted, which I guess is what you did when you dressed in your high vis and hard hat and everything.
And also, yeah, I also did that in, I worked for John Holland for about, I think it was about 4 or 5 years. And I used to go into their corporate office and I'd always wear a shirt and pants and I'd never wear a dress ever. And it just didn't feel right. I was like, oh no, I've definitely got to wear a shirt. And I started wearing shirts that looked like the guys' shirts. And I thought, this just doesn't feel right. And then once I figured out my style and what I wanted to do, I just didn't care what they thought, to be really honest with you. I just was in the room and I wasn't worried about what I was wearing. I was more worried about what I was saying. I think that was more important at that point.
Do you think that's because you felt like you like you were projecting your true essence, so to speak? So how did you find the reaction from them? Did you get better attention from them? Was it the same? How did it impact those situations?
I felt, and I'll never forget, someone said this to me, they go, we can't believe how many people know you and how many, you know, you connect with. I felt people were more attracted to me because I was projecting that confidence, I think. And also, yeah, I was just happy. I think being a confident, happy person, people like to be around that. But also I was projecting a professional outcome. It wasn't a, flighty or, I'm just wearing, a nice girly dress in the office or. Yeah.
Well, so, that's a really positive thing for other girls to hear, listen back to, because a lot of them that I speak to are very confused over, well, how do I do this? This is really who I am as a person, but I feel like I can't do that because we're going to get the wrong attention. So it's really nice to hear from you that you've successfully achieved that and still been able to project that confidence. And I think that, having done the voice training is a fabulous thing to have done as well. There's a lot of
I was just going to say to your point there, I may have got a little bit of the wrong attention at some points, and I did used to get frustrated by it. But also, if I'm going to dress confidently and I'm going to feel confident, well, you are going to get that attention.